So we all understand that sending out emails is a day-to-day job for us in any company, whether you're sending out emails to the prospects or, based on the industry that you're in. Maybe if you're a university, you're sending out emails to students or staffing companies, sending out emails to the candidates. Whatever it may be, you're sending out emails day in and day out from any company, right? But the biggest worry for all the customers I've noticed is the deliverability, right? In simple terms, deliverability meaning when you're sending out email, is it really going to reach to the inbox, right? That's what we're going to focus on today, right? And when it comes to the broad topics that I would like to cover, these are the three areas that I would like to cover today. That is the deliverability itself, and the reputation, and the compliance. Talking about deliverability again, making sure that the email that you're sending out is reaching the inbox. That's the crucial thing. With the advent of Gmail, as you know, they're getting smarter and smarter day by day. They may flag your email as a spam email or a promotional email. It could be, anything based on the content and where it is coming from. So if you're a serious email sender, and if it is a true transactional email, it could be any kind of a marketing email or a sales email. You want to make sure that it's reaching the audience to the inbox. There are certain things that you could do. We can talk about it in a moment. And then the second thing is the reputation. And again, if you look at the overall, the internet and the email infrastructure, they are spam checkers always, and they can easily find out which is authentic domain and which is not, based on certain things. And that's the reason why we have certain policy frameworks that Yahoo came up with 15, 20 years ago, and people have been reinventing all of this. And so with the proper infrastructure that you may have, you need to make sure that you're authenticating your domain and also the branded link, and also make sure that you're using a dedicated IP address. Anytime you are hurt, whether it's the domain or the IP address, you get blacklisted, and that becomes the problem with the email deliverability. And the final topic is the compliance. I'm sure you must have heard of GDPR. I think last year it has been a big thing for most of the customers in Europe and across the world. Canned spam has been there in the US for a long time. Similarly, I'm sure India has got certain policies as well, and Canada, Australia, whatnot. So you have to adhere to the compliance rules that are set forth by the country. And it's not a rocket science. It's quite easy to really follow. You just have to make sure that you have the process in place in your company. Yeah. And now, again, getting into a little bit more details about the deliverability, there are like 4 things that always come on the top. There are many more things there, but at least if you hit these 4 things, you making sure that at least the basic, the fundamental, the best practices that you're supposed to follow are in place, and then you keep on adding other things that are nitty-gritty, right? First and foremost thing is the content. So when you're sending out emails, your content has to be like it should not sound spammy. And there are many words that the internet servers can catch hold of if you're using any spammy words. The content is a basic thing that you really have to look into. And I'm going to give a quick demo on how it's going to look, the tool that we have, how it's going to help you to make sure you can identify whether your content is good or bad. And the second thing is a list. So when you're sending out emails, right, first of all, you need to make sure the list is clean, the target list is clean. It's not just about the syntax. It's sometimes about the spam traps. Spam traps are really dangerous. And if you're purchasing lists from outside, you never know when you're going to get into, when you're going to get the spam trap email address in your list, which may end up hurting you badly. So it's very important that you have to clean your email list. So we have tools available for the same thing. And also you need to suppress them or maybe just purge them from the database completely. And the third and fourth thing, there are 4 things that are more or less like those are interrelated. The domain authentication is widely popular for the past 15 years. There are like certain framework policies called SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. Those things need to be really set up properly. And similarly, when it comes to sending out emails, the concept of shared IP address versus a dedicated IP address. There's always an argument saying that, hey, shared IP address is a better one because a lot of people who are sending out emails are actually nurturing that IP address. It's better. But the argument is the other way out as well, because you do not know who is sharing the IP address with you. And they may be sending out spammy content, and because of it, the IP address is hurt. In a way, your domain also gets affected. So we strongly recommend that you get your own dedicated IP address whenever you're sending out emails to your customers or prospects, right? So that's the most important thing when it comes to the deliverability. And now, again, targetation. Like we can get into more details, but at a very high level, what is important? So you always want to make sure that you're not blacklisted. So blacklist meaning, let's say you're sending out something, right? But somebody is watching on you. There's a cop, that's the internet cop that's watching on you. The recipient servers may flag, they may have spam assassins, and they may put you in a blacklist. The recipient servers are more, they're intelligent enough to find out who is sending out the spammy content and who is not. So it is very important that you don't get blacklisted. Again, there are tools available. Proactively, you can take measures to see the email that you're sending out is good or bad. That's the key thing. And the next thing is the opt-out. I mean, it's a myth saying that, hey, I don't want to keep an unsubscribe link in my email because I don't want them to lose, right? But that's not a good practice at all. If somebody do not want to hear from you, it is better just let them leave. So highlight the unsubscribe link in your emails all the time. So honoring the opt-outs is the key thing. And talk about the compliance. Again, it may sound complex, but like if you really look at the bullet points on any of the compliance rules, there only maybe top 10 that you can think of, and I've listed for top 4 here. First and foremost thing is that you need to have a consent from the people who are receiving the email from you, meaning they have to opt in to your email list. And then making sure that having a provision for the recipients to unsubscribe automatically without any hassle, like just by click of a link, is always recommended. So making sure that you have unsubscribe link, will let you follow the compliance laws. And the signature line, again, it's all you need to do is add a signature line, meaning like you have to have a phone number, a website address, your physical address, who you are, the person who is sending the email. All of that needs to be there in the signature line with proper readable format. And if you want to add any kind of a disclaimer, you can also add that. That's very important. And on top of all, the email from, meaning, let's say you're sending out email as abc.com, that's your company domain. Letting the internet servers know that it is me who is sending, which is abc.com, is very important, meaning it's again authenticating yourself, right? So that is more like a technology infrastructure that you can rely on, by the tools such as MassMailer. So getting into a little bit of details on how MassMailer can help and what it is all about. MassMailer is a simple email solution, a native Salesforce app that lets you send out mass emails or single email or email alerts to any standard custom object. There are many more features, but not really getting into those details because today's agenda is not that, right? And also we have certain email deliverability tools that I spoke about that can actually help you making sure that your email reputation is intact. And in the demo, the quick demo, because seems like we don't have much time, so I'm happy to just cover the basics that we just talked about. The demo we can cover maybe how to verify your list and also how to monitor your domain and IP reputation, check the deliverability score, and the compliance. These are four things I think we can just touch on. And again, I'm happy to interrupt and ask, clarify any questions you may have. So before jumping to the demo, any questions, anyone? Okay, I take that as no questions. So let's jump into the quick demo here. Since you're familiar with Salesforce, I don't have to really explain much. So once you install MassMailer, there's a tab called MassMailer Email Deliverability. So if you click on that, it's gonna bring up a screen. And again, what I'm planning to demo right now is before you're sending out any email, right? Proactively, you want to make sure that your email is in good condition and your IP address domain is in good condition and the layout is all good. So how do you do that, right? It's very simple. Again, it's nothing complex. Any business user can just come here, add the sender, whoever the sender may be, and they can pick whatever the industry that they belong to. Let's say they're a non-profit. Yeah, hey, I'm a non-profit, and I'm sending out an email to say 5,000 recipients, and I'm sending out to say North America region, or you can also select a specific country, or you can say worldwide, whichever one you wanted to. And then the next step is to select the template. So I don't have a non-profit related template, so I'm just going to pick something random. And the language, what language the actual email is written. So let's say it's English. And then you can select the respective template. I'm just going to render the template here because you must have predefined everything. You're good to go. All you need to do is click on this button called Test Email Deliverability. This is going to send this request to the backend servers, and then that is kind of analyzed. It'll give a report. It takes anywhere between 6 to 10 minutes to obtain this report. So for simplicity, we actually send out an email that will have a link which can be open to kind of review what the report is all about. I have some old report that I've taken, so I'm actually gonna show you and walk you through various tabs that we have here, right? So the snapshot, it says, okay, you're sending it to a specific region and you got a specific industry, and you're above average, and this is what your score is. And the deliverability score is right here, and it says overall profile is good, but there are certain recommendations that are made because 17.68 can be caught into the spam, and it kind of highlights what those issues are, right? And if you look at this, it's highlighting the content issues and also the infrastructure issues right there. And you can drill down into what is the content problem. And if you click on that, use certain comments here, such as use all caps should be avoided. And if you click on this, you can actually get into the information, the knowledge base, and it gives you all that information, what is necessary to really make sure that you're not getting into the caps lock issue. And similarly, if you look at this, it's got subject line and the body content, and it's highlighting certain words that are in red color. If you click on that, it would actually tell you what is the recommended word and what is the discouraged word. And sometimes it may or may not be possible to really change the entire content, which is okay. But as long as you're knowing what you're sending, right? In this scenario, it says avoid is not the right word, and it's recommending some other word, and see if it can be changed or not. And same thing even in the body content, it's highlighting certain things. You can actually just click on that, and it brings up the recommended and the discouraged word. And similarly, if at all there's any problem with the layout itself, it's going to highlight those issues. And if you are designed your own HTML, it may be possible to change it, but if you used a tool, it may be very hard to change the layout, but it's okay if the score is not really getting affected too much. And the link quality is very important. If you have any links in your email, making sure that those links are good. Because let's say you're trying to like link up to a certain article and you do not know whether the domain is good or bad. If you're sending out without knowing, then your email getting to the spam folder just because they're using some link which is a bad link. So it's very important to really make sure the links are good quality links. And then the other thing is the infrastructure. I know this example, everything seems to be okay because it's actually like analyzing the IP address that you sent. It says no RBL, which means no blacklist. If at all there's any blacklist, it's gonna like kind of give you that information on what that specific blacklist is. If you really want to understand what it means, you can go through the articles here. But if it highlights something that so-and-so IP address got blacklisted, it'll provide a link. You can go to the specific blacklisted is. I mean, there are 100+ organizations that are watching, and it'll go to a specific website, and you can request them, say that, hey, I'm sending a genuine email, and this is the reason why I'm sending it. Can you please pardon me, or whatever you need to say. And you can put a request to them, and they'll look at it, and they will take you out from the blacklist and give you some time to really make sure you're not sending any, unrepeated emails. And similarly, you can make sure that the infrastructure is good. Again, not really talking too much about SPF. Just assume that if you're sending out from a specific domain address, you have to set this up in your domain servers so that you're authenticating yourself that, hey, the person that is sending, the server that I'm sending from is owned by me because I'm authenticating that. So this kind of tells the recipient server that you are a authenticated sender and you're not a spammer. And the same thing, the domain keys is another framework that has been in place the past 15, 20 years. And you got to make sure that you got the DKIM keys set up on your web hosting server. And we help with this when you're actually getting on the MassMailer. Then we help the customers to make sure that we set up the DMARC and DKIM and also the SPF. There's something called BIMI. I've not really talked about it. That's a very new standard, just came up like last year. People have started using that. All it does is, like, when you're sending out email, it actually, like, it's more like a very signed certified, right? I mean, a lot of websites, they've got a seal that is a secure site. Similarly, it'll give you a seal with your logo that it is a verified email. That will actually improve your email deliverability. We do have provision to set with the BIMI record as well. That's much more advanced. So this is like the basic fundamental things what you do. And also the compliance will highlight if at all there any problem with any of the cookies that you may have been using because you have embedded certain YouTube or Twitter. It kind of highlights what it is. And I mean, like these kind of sites are okay to go with. But if you have certain links and those domains have got certain cookies which are harmful, it's going to highlight, and you got to be careful and make sure that you remove them, right? And then the most important thing is the previews. Again, this is this sounds like complicated, but it's not. When you're actually trying out the emails designed by, say, third parties or whatever, but you never know whether those emails are going to render properly on any of the devices, like iPhone and iPhone X and 8 and the old ones, maybe Android. How is it going to look on Outlook, AOL or Yahoo? Everything you really want to make sure it's got a proper look and feel, and it's not going to look without in other clients. We do support majority of the web clients. You can see here the AOL based and iCloud. Also, we have certain desktop tool, the clients as well that we check, and also certain mobile clients too. And I mean, you may not see everything like of an example, BlackBerry is not listed. So it's not that we're gonna like have everything that is possible, but the majority that covers say 90% is being already provisioned here. And anytime you want to kind of request how it's going to look, you just have to click on that, and it's going to render real time, and then it shows up how it's going to look after the rendering is done, right? So that's how it is kind of useful for you, especially if you're a marketer. You would want to make sure that the emails are looking nice, right? So this is about the overall, like the email deliverability tools that we got, and the email verifier is another part of the application. I can get into that. Not sure how much time we have left, so I would open up for any questions. Anyone, any questions you have?
Any questions, guys?
Sorry, any questions?
They are asking, is this a feature within Salesforce?
Yeah, this is all in Salesforce. I was actually showing you the Salesforce thing. Now it has refreshed this. You can see this report right here. So now it has popped up. It's actually highlighting certain issues. So it's saying below average, and it's got some issues with the infrastructure too. Seems like the DMARC issues and some vocabulary and copywriting issues. So it's all native to Salesforce. So it's just a click of a button right within the email deliverability tab.
Anyone? Yeah, one more question, sir.
Yeah. So if the question is about if we are using various email platforms, can we monitor the results? Answer is no. So this is strictly from Salesforce, meaning like whatever the emails that you're sending out from Salesforce is what we are trying to monitor. But if you wanted to analyze anything that you're sending from Gmail, there's a provision for that, but that got to be done like in the tool. We can certainly help to kind of give a unique email address that you can copy to or BCC to, so we can analyze every single email that has been sent out. Did that clarify?
I just sent a question in the chat window.
Yeah, I got that, and I was answering that question, saying that if you're using any other email platform such as Gmail or Outlook, is it about the layout? Like if you're asking the email alignment is fine on Gmail, but not the others. Are you talking about the layout, meaning the preview of the email? Are you talking about the infrastructure?
Layout. So we are talking about layout only.
Oh, the layout. Okay. So again, going back to the layout here. So if at all your HTML is properly designed, then you should not have any issues. Let's say you have an issue with the email, like the HTML design that you're using, then we recommend that you actually use our tool called Template Builder. So we have a template builder. I will just quickly take you there. So the template builder that we already have in MassMailer, that is completely tested on most of the email clients, and the design that we give is a responsive design, meaning it works on any device. It doesn't matter, with the proper structure and the layout. So this has got advanced options. If you want to turn off any images on a mobile phone, you can do that as well. Meaning like certain advanced options that are meant for only mobile or a desktop client, you can actually do that. So this tool is again native to Salesforce. It's called MassMailer Template Builder, and it's easy to drag and drop any like the components, whether it is image, button, I could be a text one, I could be a video. You can just drag and drop and then build your email right here, right within Salesforce. Anything that is built by the MassMailer template builder is responsive and it will look fine on all the clients. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So, Vipul, do we have any more time left, or should we wrap it up?
Sir, we need to wrap it up.
Okay, no problem. So that's fine. I think we kind of covered the basics. And if you need any assistance, this is my contact information. And you can go to our website, massmailer.io. And if you need any help with the trial, I'm happy to support you. And once again, thank you so much for the opportunity today. Glad that we're able to talk at least at a very high level. But again, it's a very broad topic, but feel free to shoot me an email if you have any questions. Thank you again. Thank you, Vipul. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.